So anyway, I've noticed throughout the years that when you find someone that works with your style, you stick with them. What gets someone invited back to participate on a second Seaver film?
It really is all about vibe. Like, if you vibe well with me, you're probably going to be around for a while. Like, I just... And it's got to be... It's terrible to say, but I'm picky. Mm-hmm. Because these people, generally, they're not... like, they aren't actors.
Right. I mean, there's very few people, if you're not familiar with your movies, that anybody would recognize in your movies.
Yeah.
I mean, there's the rare occasion. You've got Trent Haga, you've got, a few people here and there that people who are into low-budget films in general might recognize. But even outside of that realm, I mean, if you're just into movies, there's nobody. So
yeah. I mean, it's just, these are just, they're my friends. Mm-hmm. And as friends, they were picked as well. Mm-hmm. And again, it's terrible to say. Like, I don't get along with everybody. Mm-hmm. You have to have a certain tolerance to be my friend. And again, you have to be geek. Like, it's very important to me. We have to have a bunch of shit in common, or it's just not going to work. In life or in the movies. And these people that you see are people that are my friends. These are like people that I genuinely enjoy being around. And so if it works and if it clicks, I'm gonna keep you around for as long as you want to be around. Mm-hmm. Like, we've had some people go, but that some of it was me kicking them out, and some of it was them just growing and not really wanting to be a part of it anymore. Mm-hmm. So, but, the people who are still around are extremely loyal, and that's very important to me too. Like, loyalty and just feeling that what we're doing is special, and what we created is special, and enjoying being a part of that, and not really wanting to give it up just yet. It's important, so I'm going to keep those people around.
And with how hectic your shooting schedule is, I could understand, again, you don't want to have people that you don't want to stand to be around, because, I mean, it's not like you have long shoots, I mean, some people who make these movies do it forever. Like, I did the exact opposite of what you do. I think I've told you before, the movie I made took literally, 18 years.
I wouldn't even be able to... I would pull my hair out.
I did. So, but but no, your movies literally take 3 days. Is that average?
2 to 3 days.
Right. So it's very hectic, very hands-on, very, we got to get this shit done and be done with it. So I could see how if you didn't have somebody that you got along with, there's no way you could get that done, because you don't have time to bullshit. It's got to all be...
still, I mean, there's still, tempers.
Of course.
Throughout it. Even, to try to do what we do every time we go about doing it is bonkers. I mean, it's, you should not make a movie the way that I make a movie. But at this point, it's like, there's no turning back. It's what we've done. Certainly not I've been doing it, the LVP thing, for 20 years. But when I started, I wasn't doing it that way. Mm-hmm. We didn't start getting into that machine style until 2003.
Okay.
So, maybe even halfway 2002, where it just became this is how we have to do this. Listen, I've only got you grouped for 2 days, so we are going to make the goddamn movie in 2 days. And it just stuck. And it really was about, I can't get all you people for weekend at a time.
Right.
I get you for these 3 days, so this is when we're going to make that movie.
Yeah.
And then it just stuck, and people just became used to it. So we, everyone adapted to it, and, but I got to tell you, Fandom, I mean, we've had bad shoots, but Fandom was so rough because there was a lot to do in 2 days, and people were sick and tired, and it was finally we can't do this anymore this way. you know, we have to add on a day or two. We would do 2 days of shooting, and then we'd do, like, for the third day, we'd do some, like, pickups if we needed to, or, like, half a day. But the last few shoots have really been just 2 straight-on days. And Fandom, like, killed everybody that it was just like, no, we have to, you know, Chris, we have to add on some days. And I'd be like, well, the reason we do it this way is because you people only give me this amount of time. So I remember Meredith being like, well, then we just got to give you more. Like, that's because we can't do it in 2 days anymore. It's just pulling everybody apart. Everyone's just not coming together because they're fucking sick and tired.
Right.
So with PIA, you know, we're going to have 4 days, and that's like luxury.
That's double your normal shooting schedule. So.
Yeah. So it's going to be a little more, you know, relaxed, a little more leisure time to you know, kind of enjoy it and hone it, because a lot of the times it's too fast to enjoy and it's too much work to enjoy. And these people, for the most part, only come together when I pull them to make a movie or we're going to a convention and selling, you know. So and when we all get together, all we want to do is have fun, because we haven't seen each other in so long, and we're just like, the group, let's watch movies and talk movies and just geek out. That's what we'd rather do.
Right.
We know we have to make this movie, so it goes by so quick, and we never really had like any fun time. I mean, there's certainly laughing.
Yeah, of course.
You know, we're laughing through the whole fucking thing, but for the most part, it's just like, oh my god, like, what the fuck did we just do? You know, Fandom was so fast, and there was so much to do that I didn't get a chance to, like, really work with the actors the way I wanted to. Some of the delivery was just really bad. I mean, I didn't even know what we shot until I got back and looked at the footage and was like, ugh, like, man, we can't do this again. We have to have that extra time. So,
yeah, and what I was starting to say before was, I mean, I could imagine. I mean, if you had one person get sick and you got a 2-day schedule, I mean, that's just, everything's done. I mean,
well, we had like 3 people sick, and Clint was sick as a dog on Phantom, and he was ready to go home. I think everyone was ready to go home.
Yeah.
Like, I don't, you know, our best time, I think, was all of us sitting around talking about fucking aliens and Prometheus and, you know, what we thought about this movie or that movie, you know. And then we're like, oh shit, we gotta get back to doing this, like.
Oh yeah, we're here to make a movie. So
yeah. So I think, like, I came up with this idea of, you know what? How about in the summer we don't, you know, late in the summer we'll all get together and we won't make a movie. We'll just all get together and spend 3 days of just watching movies, talking about movies, geeking out, having fun, and just enjoying everybody. So we're gonna do that. It's called the LVP Gash Bash. We're gonna do that sometime in August, I think. But that'll be awesome.
That sounds like tons of fun.
No movies, just the gang getting together and having a good time. So
that's awesome. So I've got a couple of kind of big conceptual questions to close this up on here. So if you had the budget to do whatever you wanted to do and the freedom to make sure that you made what you wanted to make with that money, what would be your dream project?
I don't know. I really don't know.
Yeah.
Like, I would probably want to make something more like Geek War.
Yeah.
Honestly.
That's still to this day my favorite of your films, and I've seen a lot of them.
It's my favorite that I've ever done.
Yeah.
I think it's one of the best things that, as a collective, we've done. I would probably do something similar to that.
Yeah.
Geeky comedy, you know. And I love the horror and everything, and I love those elements and bringing them into it, but it is tough, and I don't necessarily know if I would love to, you know, go balls deep with special effects and shit like that. I mean, maybe I would. Maybe I'd go out and make a fucking gore fest at some point, but I don't know. I would probably do something more like Geek War.
Yeah. For you people who read my blog, if you haven't seen it yet, Geek War is the only movie so far that I've rated a 9.5 out of 10. It is. There's only one movie I've reviewed so far that's gotten a higher rating out of doing this since 2005. So it is by far my favorite of all the things Chris has done. And if you can get your hands on it, definitely check it out.
Well, it is finally coming out.
Is it really? Good.
Yeah, SRS, they own it.
Okay.
But I am doing a recut. I'm recutting the movie.
Oh, cool.
And it will be color corrected. I'll have some different music in it because obviously there's some music in there that
there's some stuff without rights. I'm sure
we knew going in it was going to be changed, but it's kind of what I had when I was writing it in my head, the song. Mm-hmm. So probably four songs will be changed, but so it will come out hopefully this year. I mean, because I'll need to do the re-edit. Okay. It just depends on what's going to happen. Like, because we also have this Teen Ape thing that is kind of on the verge of going down. So I don't know. Mm-hmm. I don't know. But at some point, it will finally be released.
Well, good, because that one.
I have special features for it, and awesome. We did sit down interviews with most of the group, and I think it deserves to be seen.
It really does. It really is. I mean, maturity wise, it's still sophomoric and LWP and it's not Shakespeare or anything, but maturity wise, it really is like a step above most of the films that you've made, and I think it's one of the things I wrote in my review. It just amazes me that the best thing that I've ever seen from you is the closest thing that you could call to a romantic comedy that you've made. I mean, it really is. It's basically a romantic comedy.
Well, I'm a big sap. I'm extremely sappy.
Well, you did a really good job of making a romantic comedy that guys would actually want to watch, and it's this movie where if you get that girlfriend that's slightly geeky at all, she's going to enjoy it. And yet it's got all that stuff for the guys that they're going to enjoy, and it's just everything about it. I mean, I love, don't get me wrong, I love the horror elements, I like gory movies, I like, all that sort of stuff. I mean, Dingleberries is my favorite Warlock movie, and we're talking about a movie with talking poo, so I like all that stuff, but Geek War is just, it's so different from everything else you've done, and it's so, it really is just kind of a step above.
I would like to remake it. I think I could do it better.
Yeah.
Technology-wise, I think we could do it, shoot it better and with better cameras and whatnot. And
give it a Blu-ray release.
Take a little more time with it. Just something, or something like that again. Mm-hmm. Like I would like to do a geek comedy that, was more me showing, because that's what Geek War was, and I had Geek War marinating for years. Mm-hmm. And it was always called Geek War. Mm-hmm. The premise was a little different, but because it was far more about comic books than the actual movie turned out to be. But Geek War was a movie where I was able to put everything that I love into one movie and have my sappy side show. Because I am sappy. I love to love. I love having a relationship. I love girlfriends. I love, you know what I mean? I love it, and certainly if you're geeky, I'm gonna, my girlfriend now is magic. And that's a side that a lot of people don't know about, certainly not the audience that watches my movies. People that know me, it's there, but this was cool, and I think I would like to make another movie that's like that, where I can just put all of myself into it. It was just a mellow shoot. Mm-hmm. It was good, and everyone put in some fucking crazy good performances, and I don't know, it worked. So I do want people to see that. Yeah,
well, I'm really glad to hear that it's going to get a proper release, so that more people will get a chance to actually see it. Because like I said, I mean, it's the second highest thing I've ever reviewed in writing this blog since 2005. I've reviewed, I don't know, hundreds of movies now, and that's there's only one movie I've reviewed that actually I gave a higher rating to than that. So the last thing here, and I'll just leave it with this. So you've already kind of touched on this, but other than PIA, what's next for you? I mean, what's in the plans for the future for Warlock and for Chris Seaver?
I mean, there's the Teen Ape thing, which, man, I don't know. Like, that was like I just got a bunch of messages over the years and people at conventions, kind of hounding me about it. But, there's the cult following that we have over the years of Teen Ape lovers and people who loved those earlier LVP movies, and so I would just always get like, when are you gonna do Teen Ape again? Or and clearly these people knew that like I kind of moved on. We didn't make a Teen Ape movie since 2007. Teen Ape was dead.
What was the last Teen Ape movie?
Wet Heat. And and at that time, I was like, I'm going to do 2 Teen Ape movies back to back and call it a day. So we made Teen Ape Goes to Camp and Wet Heat. And that was sort of like here you go, guys. Like, this is it. Enjoy them. And time to put them to bed.
So for the people who aren't too familiar with this, Teen Ape was a recurring character in LVP in a lot of the movies, especially towards the last years of LVP, but for years and years and years, and he was kind of the mascot. Yeah. He's kind of the Silent Bob of LVP, if you would put it that way. He's the one that everybody, kind of remembers. And so you were trying to put together a new Teen Ape movie, basically.
Well, no, we weren't.
So you weren't trying, but people were bugging you too. Is that more of what?
Yeah, it was more like, hey, man, I would love to see another Teen Ape, blah, 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 blah. So I was like, all right, well, listen, if you people want to see another Teen Ape movie, then you're going to pay for it. Like, fan-funded, completely fan-funded. If you want to see it that fucking bad, then you pay for it, and we will give you the best Teen Ape movie that I can give you. So I talked to my cousin Casey about it, who plays Teen Ape, and he was like, all right, well, let him, let's see what happens. Let's put up so we put up a video and made a page for it, and we sat around for an afternoon and came up with a pretty funny story of what we would do. And it's kind of, it's there. And we put up, we talked about like what we would need and how we, how much this thing would cost. And if we were going to do it, we were going to do it right and give them something they had never seen before. So we want to shoot on the Red camera.
Wow. So
we put this budget together of how we could pull it off. And, waited for the fans to donate. And, for the most part, everyone who wanted it so bad just kind of like stopped talking. They all kind of went away. It was like, oh, well, I don't want to pay for it, but I want to see it.
Yeah, so if you make it, I'll watch it, I swear.
Yeah, and I was just like, well, that's not how this is going to go down. Because we don't care. We don't need to see another Teen Ape. I could give a shit. But it could be fun, and it certainly would be a ride to do another one, the way that we want to do it. So we got like a few donations here and there, and then it was like dead for a while, like nothing, and we were just like, man, like, and at this point we were like, man, this could be really funny, and I would love to do this for these people. And then it was like chirp, chirp. It was nothing, and I was getting like bummed actually. Like, oh, maybe we won't be able to make this. And then out of the blue, we got like a ton of donations. Just like it was like a week of like people like donating to it, and we were like, holy shit! Like we could do this. Like this might happen. So right now we're at a point where all we need is, well, we did have one person pull out. They did donate, and then they pulled out because they felt that like it really wasn't. There was no like movement, and they were afraid that this isn't a good investment, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So I understand that, but I mean, we're essentially back to about only needing, you know, $2,500 to make the movie. So we're really close. We're so close. And if we were going to do it, we're going to shoot it in June because that's when we can. But I mean, I need to know if we're going to do this, you know, no later than April, like the end of April, because there's so much to do.
Right.
And we are going to shoot on the red. So hopefully, you know, I mean, it's hopefully we get that 2,500 and we can announce that we're actually going to fucking do this. Yep. And if we do it, it's only us. Nobody's getting, no outside company is going to have anything to do with it. It's specifically for these fans. So we will only be making copies for the people who want it. That's basically what it is. It's a fan service. Mm-hmm. We made this movie for you, and you are the people that's going to get it. So
nice.
It's only going to be online. It's only going to be like, you know, we'll do like a convention thing with it and kind of go to a few conventions and promote this. Oh, Teenage Balls Deep, it's back. You know, so, but no one's going to get a hold of it, and I can do whatever I want in it. It's going to be my brain unleashed. And Teen Apes weighing unleashed.
Oh, joy.
So hopefully, you know, people will, you know, donate that last bit and we can give those fans, you know, the Teen Ape movie. So we shall see.
Yes. So anyway, Chris, I want to thank you for your time tonight with talking movies and stuff with me. I appreciate it.
Indeed.
Do you have anything else that you wanted to say to the people listening to this tonight?
No.
Screw you, people. I wasted your time enough. No.
I'm glad that people are out there that like my shit and continue to like my shit and want to see more. I'm shocked that I've been able to keep going. And it's primarily because of the fans and my stubbornness. I couldn't think of anything else that I could do, really. This is all I've known since I was 7 years old, just making these movies, and it's all I wanted to do, you know. And I'm a guy who I don't need to be that Hollywood guy, you know. There's a lot of filmmakers who are doing it so that they can get to a certain position. Mm-hmm. And do it at a, you know, higher level. And I'm okay with what I'm doing. I like making schlock, and I like the world that we live in in this world. Like, it's a niche market, and I like it. You know, I like the weirdos that like my movies, and I like that we're all weirdos making these movies, and I don't know, it's just, I'm happy with where it is, and I'm glad other people get a kick out of it. And I'm happy that I have the group that I have that are so goddamn loyal and coming back to do more. You know, even though some of them have stated up and down while we're doing it, I'm never going to do one of these again. And they just keep coming back. So I'm proud for the silly shit that I've accomplished, and I'm happy, and I love everybody who's involved, and I'm glad we have fans, and I don't know. Yeah, it's awesome. I don't know, man. It's at times it feels like it's a fucking curse, but I know deep down that it's a blessing, and, you know, I would hate to not be doing what I'm doing, and hate to not have the fans we have, and certainly the group of friends that I have. And so, I don't know. That's some sappiness for you. So.
All right, Chris. Well, thanks again.
Yeah, thank you, my man.